Hey, dude, how you doing? Is my mic that loud? Oh, sorry. I didn't have anyone watching before, so I wasn't paying attention to the chat. So I was a little bit late answering you. This is a zombies level I've been working on for a little while. So the theme here is that it's a campsite that was built on some kind of ancient burial ground or some kind of nonsense like that. So I'll back out and give you an overview of the map so far. So a couple of high-level ideas here are that, as I said, it's a campsite. So the east end over here would be the body of water in a large river. So you have your boat dock and uh, I don't know exactly what you would call this, like a an enclosed boat storage. I don't know, a boathouse. So over here is some kind of like information or visitor center. Oh shit, we're having an earthquake right now. Wow, it's still going. Okay, I'm back. That was, holy shit. We haven't had, a big earthquake in a long time. You know, anything more than just a very quick jolt. And this one just lasted for about 20 seconds. To the point where all my monitors were shaking, my doors were shaking. I got up and walked away from the computer because I was afraid things were going to start to fall over. I never experienced an earthquake until I moved out here. I've been here 7 years. And we've had, since I've been here, I've experienced maybe three or four, let's say, troubling earthquakes. Lots of, as I said before, lots of quick jolts. Like, it feels like somebody crashed a car into your building. Really, just a real quick knock. But the ones like what we just experienced, those are scary because they start off very mild and then gain strength and get stronger and stronger and stronger. And you're never sure when it's going to end. I'm actually shaking a little bit now. That's got the adrenaline going. Shit. Oh yeah, yeah. Lots of my fellow friends and coworkers here from California are all tweeting that they also felt it. It's also pretty scary how far away it can be felt. So I thought I saw somebody tweet that it happened in that the it was in Venice, which is several miles away from here. And I felt that very strong here in Santa Monica. I'm curious to see how strong it was. 6.6 magnitude. Hey, X. Man, yeah, I guess it's turned into an earthquake stream. 6.6, wow. So there's a Twitter account called LA QuakeBot, and previous earthquakes are 1.5, 1.0, 1.5, 1.2, 1.4, and then 6.6 6 minutes ago. That is really intense. Hey, Ice Grenade, nice to see you. I think my hands have stopped shaking enough that I can actually do some work again. God damn. It's too early for this shit. Not even 11 a.m. Oh, if you haven't heard the news, Ice, we just had a gigantic earthquake while I was streaming. A 6.6 magnitude earthquake. My monitors were shaking, the doors were shaking, the cats got up and ran. Pretty fucking scary. It lasted for what felt like about 20 seconds. So anyway, as I was about to do as that earthquake hit, I was going to show an overview of the map so far. Let's try this again. Hopefully with less destruction and terror. So, the idea is that this is a campsite that is built on some kind of ancient burial ground. The east end over here would be the river, or like a big lake. So you have your boat landing here, boathouse, like a visitor center. Few other, this is like canoe storage and other shit like this. This would be the start area. I still haven't exactly figured out what this will be. Over here is, this would be like the camp counselor housing. And then over here would be the camper housing. So the ancient burial ground idea is that what you will see looming in the distance is, let me hide models. What you'll see looming in the distance here is a giant rock formation that looks like a skull. So it's a little bit hard to tell by the scale, but this skull is gigantic and it's meant for you to play inside of it. So we can go ahead and give you an idea of the scale of this. So here's a player model, and there's the skull. I started this a while ago, but progress has been a little bit slow. Yeah, so the idea here is, let me back out real quick. So what I started thinking about is, from the start of the map, you'll see, obviously this giant green block won't be here. These green blocks are supposed to represent blocking or vis blocking foliage. So, you'll see the skull looming in the distance, and you'll see a path up to its open mouth. Pack-a-Punch will be inside the skull. Now, what I'm thinking, and I don't know, I'm going to have to find a scripter to see if they want to take this on, because I don't know how to script. What I would like to do is, we have these two ritual sites, this one and this one. You perform a ritual at it, and it creates an ad round, which, tons of zombies, dogs, and whatever else will attack. And if you survive, then if you do, let's say, the left one, now Pack-a-Punch is active once you buy your way into the skull. If you do the second ritual, then double packing is active. And then once you get to the skull, you can double pack your weapons. Yeah, Ice, if you want to take that on, I'd be happy. So, do I still have... I do have my controller set up. Okay. Let me go ahead and... I don't have this running in game yet, but I have my 360 or my Xbox One controller hooked up. So I can kind of give you an idea of what it'll look like walking through the map. Now, I'll have both hands on the controller, so I don't have... I won't be able to talk while I'm doing that. So this is the starting area here. Let me zoom out a little bit and show you. You watch this. You watch the camera here. You can see where I'm moving through the map. So this area is a little bit unfinished right now. This will be your first glimpse of the river over here, or the lake. And this will be a bridge. I had to adjust the height of this area over here, so there's a bit of a disconnect here. And then this is leading into the information center. So these red blocks are meant to show where zombies will traverse over. Hey, Zeroy. Welcome. Am I thinking this would be a daytime or a nighttime map? You know, I don't know yet. I was actually thinking of possibly doing it in black and white. Sorry, it's a little bit jittery. So this is like kind of like a parking area where, you know, they have their supplies delivered and stuff like that. So I figured to do either a wall buy or a perk buy inside the shipping container here on the truck. Okay, so when you go out the other side of the information center, it'll also take you down to the shore and the docks. This will be blocked off to the player right here. But this is a dock where you have a bunch of boats tied up and stuff like that. So, these blue brushes here are demonstrating where the player is blocked off. So your path is very clear where you can go. And this will be this green brush will be an open door where zombies come in. So it's a continued stream, or, you know, the water running through here. And this area is still a very heavy work in progress. This is the first ritual site. So the thinking here is that there will be up to 4 torches around this circle. That when you light all the torches, you're starting the ritual. So then you'll be attacked by zombies and dogs and parasites and whatever else you can get working in here. So you survive that round, and then that activates Pack-a-Punch in the skull. So what I'm thinking about now is how the player traverses through the level, and once they've completed this ritual, do I want them to... So we're up here right now. Do I want them to have to backtrack all the way? Or do some kind of fast travel to get back to the start? Because the original idea was... let me see if I still have that pulled up. So here's the original idea of the map. That everything is connected. Now, after I started blocking it out, some things here probably aren't going to work out. Like having 2 connections into this area here. For a lot of these areas, I didn't know what they were going to be yet. How would you like the torches? I think I wouldn't want to make it too complicated. It might be as simple as you just walk up to it and activate. You press the button to activate. Or if you wanted to make it a little bit more fun or, you know, a little bit more grindy, then maybe you have to locate a lighter and, you know, gasoline or something. And once you have those two items, then you can light the torches. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking. Yeah. All right, Ice, go ahead. That's an interesting idea. All right, Ice. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good one. So yeah, that's the idea so far. I originally wanted this to just be a very simple survival map. Well, thank you, Zeroy. Yeah, I originally wanted this to just be a very basic, very ordinary survival map. Uh, Now that I'm blocking it out, I kind of want to add a little bit more to it. You know, in a perfect world, I would love to do a full Easter egg for it, but I don't think that's going to happen. That's an interesting idea, X. You know, I've talked a lot about doing like a community project, and I don't know, maybe this would be a cool one to divvy up some of the work. Wow. Offers from Zeroy and X. Holy shit. So yeah, what's left to design now is it's become a little bit tricky now because of where the ritual sites had to go. The original idea is that this path right here would lead, like, the idea was that this skull would actually be a lot closer. It'd be more like around here. But now, this is probably still not the final position. I kind of need to wait until everything is blocked out so I can see how high does it need to be, how far back does it need to be visible throughout the whole map. But anyway, what's left to design now, what I'm thinking is I want this to be a staircase down. Let me show you what it looks like here. So this here would be a staircase down into... I don't know what yet. So, loose ideas that I have are that I want a cemetery somewhere in here. And I want a tunnel. Not just like a straight tunnel, but I want it to look like... similar to, like, you know, the tunnel that's in Der Eisendrache. How it's, you know, kind of rickety looking, old, and a little bit mysterious. We want that to, you know, have multiple branches coming off. Or at least, not necessarily branches, but... what's a good example? Okay, here's an example, right here. So, this is the start area. This leads to the counselor housing. So, you can see they both paths lead to the same place. But it gives you the option of splitting. You know, you can either go right or you can go left. Both lead you to the same place. And there's probably no benefit to going left or right, but it gives you an option. So that's what I would like to see with this tunnel. Is have splits that will break off and then lead you back to the main path. And have it wind somewhere to where it comes out maybe like around here. And then have a pretty drastic slope up into the skull. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. See, I don't necessarily want this to look like it was excavated. More like this campsite was built around it, trying to kind of hide it. Yeah, X, no problem. We can chat after the stream. Sure thing. Actually, one thing I would love some help with once the blockout is done is the zoning and initial spawn setup. I'm really slow with that stuff, and it takes me a really long time to get the map up and running. Yeah, Z, that would be cool. Thank you. So yeah, this is how the map looks from top down so far. So looking at it from the side, you can see the elevation. The idea with the skull being way up here. Like Skull Mountain or something. So actually what I started working on with the skull, which I think is pretty cool, is I want to build the skull with Geo. So, if you guys were not aware, you can weld patches to models. For example, so you've got these three buttons here. You have Snap Model Vert, Snap Brush Vert, and Snap Prefab Vert. So what you want to, you can have all three checked, but you need to have Snap Model Vert checked. If you don't have a shortcut or a button for this, just press Control K and type that in. Snap vertices, snap model vert, and then enable tool or edit toolbars, and you just drag that up here. And if you want to get rid of it, you just drag it back. So once that is checked, what you do is select the model, then the patch, press V, and now you can select the verts on the model. So it's the more dense the model is, the more confusing, the more the more difficult it can be to work. Sorry, I'm just laughing what X said. So, okay, so let's say this point right here. Select that, just like you would weld two patches together. And that's the method I use to do all this. Yeah, the same method works for brushes. If you have snap brush verts checked, then let's say I have, this is like offset or something like that. And I want to weld that. I want these two verts to touch this brush. I would just do the same exact operation. And the same works with prefabs. Now, there is a limitation on how many verts can be displayed at one time. It won't throw up an error, but it just will not display them if there's too many. So if you have like a crazy dense prefab and you're trying to weld a patch to it, it's not going to work. Well, let's say if this brush were a prefab and I had snap prefab verts checked, I could do the same thing. Just weld, select the vert, then select the vert on the brush or the patch and weld. So yeah, once I get into the detail of all this, I'm going to build out all the teeth and everything in Geo. Or maybe just prefab one and then create duplicates and just keep scaling them down a little bit. Yeah, so that's a cool little feature that I'm sure not a lot of people really know about. So what's cool about this is doing it this way, I can blend like moss and cracks and stone and all kinds of stuff into this. Well, yeah, it's a cool little feature for like situations like this. Even if like there's like for whatever reason let's say it's like a train car or something that you want to build in Geo. If you want it to be exact, you can be exact. That's cool, Z. That's nice of you to say. You know, a lot of this stuff I don't really talk about because I figure you guys know a lot of this stuff. Like that that stream I did sometime last year when I was blending decal volumes, and suddenly everyone was like, "Hold, wait, hold on. How are you? What are you doing? How are you doing that?" I just figured that was something everyone knows. Yeah, it was nice when I first started streaming and there was actually a lot of people watching. I liked when people were asking questions about how to do things, or what's your method for building this, or how do you make a rounded staircase, things like that. Hi, Mr. Humble J. Yeah, dude, spread it around. I don't know what I want to do. I'm not really like I explained. I have some ideas. Like I want there to be a cemetery or a graveyard. I want there to be a tunnel, and then like a long path, maybe like a long winding path coming down from the skull. Something like to block something out real quick. My God, that skull is huge. Yeah, so something like this. And that's going to be, oof. That is going to be one hell of a journey up to that skull. Yeah, dude, seriously. This is something I didn't think about either, is the view from up here. I can get rid of this now. I just kept this over here because I've made some changes I wasn't sure I was going to keep. I was trying out different angles of this section over here. I'll just say no comment. Well, anyway, I think I'm going to stop the stream here. I'll admit, after that earthquake, I'm having a hard time concentrating on this. I'm extremely grateful that there was no aftershock. Sometimes the aftershock is worse than the initial earthquake. Anyway, thank you all for hanging out. Yeah, dude, 6.6 is no joke. My monitors and the doors, my TV, everything was shaking so badly I was actually expecting something to break. Anyway, enough complaining. Thank you all again for hanging out. Hopefully your day is better than mine. And for my fellow friends in the U.S., happy Independence Day. Don't forget to watch Stranger Things. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.